Hey everyone, this is me, the Undead Viking, and this is Dragon Keepers. Dragon Keepers is a game for 2 to 4 players that can be played both competitively and cooperatively. I'm going to show you both versions of that game. It's designed by Vital Lacerda. I believe I'm saying that correctly. A pretty famous designer, but I believe, and I apologize if I'm incorrect here, but the other person, the designer, is Katerina Lacerda, which I believe is his daughter, which I think is super, super cool. But anyway, it's got some fantastic art. It puts the players in the role of being dragon protectors, that these hunters are coming and trying to harm them. And, you know, you play dragon protectors in both the competitive and the cooperative game, but there is some, like, functional differences there as well. But regardless, let me show you how both versions of Dragon Keepers is played, and we'll come back here and I'll tell you why I dig it. Alright, cool. There are two ways that you can play Dragon Keepers, as I said. There's a competitive version and a cooperative version. I'm going to show you the competitive version first. The competitive game is a little bit lighter, and it is, you know, geared towards families, and this is definitely a game that I was able to include my 6-year-old son playing, and he had a great time. You set up all 6 of the dragons over here. The dragons, as I said, have 2 sides, both a peaceful and then a trained side. You're only going to use the peaceful side in this competitive game. You place 1 hunter here, and you take you're going to take the number of hunter dice equal to the number of players plus 1. Each player will get a deck of cards that has their symbol on it. So here's this little yellow shield symbol. And they're going to get 6 of these Dragon Protector cards, 1 for each color. And the colors match up with the different dragons, and that's how you protect the dragons. One person will take all these dice, and they will roll them, and then they will put them onto the dragons. This is like the dragons that the hunter is attacking. So here's a green one. We'll put that on there. Here's a yellow one. It's over here. Here's a purple one that goes over here. And here's another purple one. So we won't use that one. We'll just push that back on there. So now there's 3 dragons that are at risk. Now, as our job as dragon defenders, we need to protect these dragons. So each player is going to pick one of these cards to protect dragons. Now, you could choose not to protect a dragon. You could protect the blue dragon if you wanted to, and you wouldn't protect anything. But the game ends when one of these dragons is killed, or when somebody has successfully protected a dragon 3 times solo. I'll explain that in just a little bit. So, what will happen is that you'll pick one of these cards. It's secret. So let's say we want to protect the yellow dragon. So we're going to put that face down in front of us. Now, each other player does the exact same thing, and everybody reveals their cards at the exact same time. If I am the only person that protected this yellow dragon, the die is taken off, and I get to place one of my shields on there to show that I successfully protected that dragon by myself. If I can manage to get all 3 of my shields out onto these dragons in some way before anybody else does, I will win the game. So now if both of the other players had protected the green dragon, they would protect the green dragon. It wouldn't take any damage, but because both of them work together to do it, they wouldn't get to put their shield markers on there. The poor purple dragon, nobody cared about, and so they're going to get an arrow on there, and you return the die just like that. If this dragon manages to get 3 arrows, and for that matter, any of the dragons get 3 arrows on them, they'll be killed, and that will also signal the end of the game. So let's just do one more turn. So let's just see what we get here. In this case, let's see, I got 2 white, so we're going to put 1 on white, and 2 yellow, so we're going to put 1 on yellow. So now, there's only 2 that are getting attacked. But here's the thing. Maybe I picked a white to protect, thinking that, okay, well, somebody else is going to go with the yellow one. So I pick white, and I'll put, this card goes back in your hand after that first turn. So and I take the white defender, and I put it out there, and I turn it over. So maybe the other 2 do the exact same thing, and so we protect this one, and it's fine. But now this gets an arrow. Now let's just say, for example, that was its 3rd arrow. So it gets another arrow, and it's killed. When it is killed, it is removed from the game. The game is over, and any shields that were on that dragon are also discarded as well. So if you have shields on dragons that are, have multiple arrows on them, 2 arrows, they're close to death, you got to make sure that those don't die, because you're going to lose the game at that point. So the game has some cool little choices that you have to make, and it has a wonderful reveal moment where you're hoping that you have figured out what the other players are going to do and outguess them to make sure that you get your shield tokens out before the rest of them do. Again, the game ends when one player manages to get all 3 of their shields out on dragons. However, you could have them multiple on, it doesn't matter. If they do that, they win the game. If another player manages to do that exact same thing at the exact same time, say, the white player managed to get their shields out at the exact same time, then you would go ahead and look, and whoever their favorite dragon of your clan, this is yellow clan, this yellow dragon is my favorite dragon, you look and see who has the least number of arrows on it. So in this case, let's say mine had 2 arrows on it, and white had only 1 arrow on their favorite dragon. White would win. We wouldn't tie because of the fact that, my dragon had taken more damage. It's a very, very simple game, very, very straightforward game, but it makes for some fun decisions for everybody to make, and it is a really, really good family game. Alright, so let's show you the cooperative game. Alright, so this is going to be the cooperative version of the game. You might notice there are some things out there. Now each player is going to have a couple of these boards in front of them, and I'll explain what they're used for in just a little bit. You might notice these flame tokens, and those flame tokens will be placed on the hunters after they're successfully attacked by the dragons. You're still going to have a number of hunter dice equal to the number of players plus 1 to begin with. So you place those on there so you know how many attacks they're going to be making. These tokens, and of which every player is going to start with 2 shield tokens, a heal token, and a training token, are going to be used in conjunction with the cards that you have in your hand when you take your actions. Each one of these dragons will be flipped over as they are trained. So they start out all cute and nice, but then they they switch over and they are ready to do some damage. Also, the health, like this one has 3 health. That is going to be how much health that particular dragon has, and so it'll take 3 hits to kill. Whereas this purple dragon, you can see, has 4 health, and so it will take 4 health to be destroyed. So, and dragons have some special powers as well, and I'll talk about those in just a little bit. So there's also going to be these battle cards. The battle cards are they both give the players special abilities as they collect them, but they also are kind of a timer. You win or lose the cooperative game by either successfully attacking with a certain number of dragons, depending upon the difficulty. On easy, you have to attack with 4. On hard, you have to attack with all 6. But also you have to do that before either the hunters kill one of the dragons, or you go through all of these cards. And if you go through all of the cards, unfortunately, then you'll run out of time and you lose the game. The game is played, the mechanisms as far as how the game is played are fairly congruous with the competitive version. One player will begin, and they will roll the dice, and then they will place said dice on the different dragons that they do. And I just actually rolled horribly because I got 4 separate dice for 4 different dragons, and we're only playing with 3 players, so it looks like a dragon's going to get hurt. So, but on this turn, when you play, what you're going to do, when you place your card down, and here's the deal, since it's cooperative, it would be really easy if you said, okay, well, I'm going to protect the yellow one, nobody else protect him. Well, I'm going to protect the green one. You can't do it. You can't hint. You can't say anything. However, as the game is played, you'll be filling up your player board as the game goes on, and people will be able to see, what you're doing, but and see what cards you have left in your hand. So on your turn, you can pass, and I'll talk about passing here in just a little bit. What you'll do is you'll take a card. So let's say we're going to take the purple. And we're going to take, and so purple is going to protect the purple dragon. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place a token with the dragon. So it kind of gives a little bit of information as far as what they're going to do. Now, if you have one of these battle cards that you collected, then what you can then also place that face, and with that to show that you're using a battle card. But we don't have any this time. So what happens is then, like, you have a first player, and like technically the first player token is the person who rolls the hunter dice. But so then in player order you'll reveal. So in this case we'd reveal that we're protecting purple, and if we're the first player, nobody else has done anything purple, so we're going to remove that, and then you get a reward for doing so. And so when you get your reward, the rewards are here. So if you successfully do a defend, you're going to get to pick a card. If you successfully do a heal, you get to pick a card. If you successfully do a train, you get to pick another token of any of these tokens. And if you successfully do an attack, you can then attack the hunter. So let me just show you the rest of those. So, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this Tempest Sword. And the Tempest Sword has special ability of you may reroll all your battle dice up to twice. And so you go ahead and put that on your player board over there, and notice how you only have 3 spots for those. After they're used up, you're going to have to use your cards, and they aren't like put in the discard pile either. They're just immediately permanently removed. And I should mention that also you can take a card from the discard pile as well. So there are different ways, so you can take it from either spot. So then when that happens, you immediately flip one over and show it. Now I'm going to show you one other thing here. Well, actually, let me show you. So let's just kind of fast forward, pretend that turns over, and let's maybe both the green and the yellow dragon got successfully hurt because maybe the other 2 players both tried to protect the blue. And I should mention that if you try to protect or defend a dragon that has already been defended, it doesn't have any dice, because it doesn't matter how many dice are on the dragon. 1 defend takes care of all of the dice. If you go there and there's nothing to defend, you don't get the reward. Your action's wasted, your token's wasted, you're done. So, and I should also mention, remember, the cards and the tokens remain on this board until you do a pass action. Once again, I'll talk about that in just a brief moment. So, if we have a situation like this, and do we do a defend, so maybe we want to heal, so we have this and this on top, once again giving a little bit of information to the other players. We'll turn that over, we'll show that we defended, and then if there's still a token on there, once again, if somebody else healed it before me, I'm not going to get the bonus. It'll be a wasted action. I get to remove the arrow from it, and then I'll be able to once again take a card. So here, this one is receive 2 additional battle dice this round. So we put that down there, and then we reveal another card. And I'm going to cheat here because I want to actually find one. So if you reveal a card that has a hunter on it, when you do this, you immediately just get rid of that card, but you add another die to the hunter. So they're going to roll 5 dice when it is their turn. So as you go through this deck, and there are 3 more of those hunter cards in there, as you dig into that deck, you are going to make it more difficult for you and the other players to survive each round. The dragons are going to start accumulating damage. So, all right. So, training a dragon, when you pick a dragon to train, you will flip them over. So here, we'll go ahead and say, let's say on our turn. Oh, so passing. I was going to mention passing. I apologize. So passing, when you pass on your turn, you take back all of your tokens, like so, and then you take back all of your cards and put them back in your hand. You notice how there's 5. Eventually, the game will force you to do a passing action. But sometimes you just to keep your options open as far as which dragons you're going to affect and how you can be an effective team player, you need to do a pass action to get cards back in your hand. All right, so let's say on my turn, I want to do a train action. So I place my card there, and I let everybody know that I'm training, and I'm going to train the purple. So now what happens is you flip the card over, and If somebody else trained it beforehand, obviously then it'd be a wasted action. But you flip the card over, and you can see then, like, it has these spots here. And these spots are for the attack dice. Now, some dragons aren't going to have as many attack dice. Notice how this red dragon, he only has this one little attack spot there. So, and you can keep training them to keep filling those spots with attack dice. Now, the purple dragon is one of its special power, and this iconography denotes that right there. When you successfully train the purple dragon, you actually get to give it 2 dice. So you don't actually have to train it all 4 times to fill all 4 spots. So you have this bag, and you're going to draw. Now, like I said, this wouldn't be for all the dragons. In this case, the purple dragon, you're going to draw 2. And I actually drew one of both color, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. So you have a die, this red die, which is like a normal attack, and on 1/3 of its sides it has this little flame, meaning that it has a 1 in 3 shot of being successful. Now this white die has, if you notice, like it has 1, 2, 3 spots that have the flames on them. However, this one spot, notice a little plus there, and the iconography will look different in the final version. That is considered to be a weak attack. Now, the only reason that matters is that on harder difficulties of the game, the weak attacks actually don't do anything. So, having a weak attack on there makes it so it will be very difficult as far as rolling that, it won't have a 50-50 shot on that like normally. It would only have 1 in 3, just like the others. Now, like some of the other dragons have a special power, like the red dragon here, they only get 1 of these spots, right? But notice how it has these 2 flames here. On a successful attack, you're going to place each successful attack. He does 2 flame tokens that when he attacks the hunter and succeeds. So, and again, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here as far as explaining the attack function. But that's how you train dragons. And the whole goal here is that you want to be able to train the dragons so all of them have the ability to attack. Because remember, you have to have a certain number of them successfully attack in order to win the game. Oh, and I do apologize. I misspoke one thing. I was thinking about the red dragon when I was doing this. So you don't fail. If somebody else trained this dragon after me, they would just draw 2 more dice and place them on there like so, and now it would be fully trained. Now, if you tried to train it, it would not work. But also, the dragon has to be uninjured in order to actually train it. So if there's any arrows on there when you try to train a dragon, it won't work. Now, if you successfully train a dragon, your reward is any token you wish from the pile. So in this case, we're going to take an attack action just so we can show you how attacks work. So same deal, if like on the next turn, I got my purple card back and I did an attack with the purple card, what you do then is you collect all of the dice that are on that card and you roll them, and you're going to be looking for those flame results. Alright, so let's roll the dice. Well, I got 1 flame, but that's fine, that's fine. So we go ahead and we place a flame token on there to show that we've successfully attacked the hunter. Alright, so after we've done that, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to place a token on this dragon to show that it has successfully attacked it, so we can keep track of our objective at winning the game. Now, after that is done, after everybody's done their actions, and that's all the different actions that you can do, you then will do all the hunter actions, all the attacks that were not protected. You will add arrow tokens to those dragons. If they had, let's just like that, then you remove it. You put an arrow token on there. If the hunters manage to kill one of the dragons, then the hunters win, and the players lose the cooperative version of the game. If all the dragons survived and lived to the next round, then what happens is that you will then go to the first phase of the game again, and you will take the top card from the deck, and you will place it on the top of the discard pile, and you will then take and flip over the next card. Once again, it's the timer of the game, making sure that you're not just defending, healing. The game kind of forces you, to do something, or else you're going to run out of those cards. Now, I should mention, if you do use one of these cards, it does not go on the discard pile. You remove it from the game. The only time those cards go on the discard pile is during that hunter phase, or the very first phase of the game. I should also mention that if you manage to get 3 flame tokens, or multiples of 3 flame tokens on top of the hunter, you remove those during this phase. You remove those flame tokens, and you get to remove a die as well from there. So you can actually damage the hunters and reduce their ability to actually attack and do things to you and hurt the dragons. So that's actually, I kind of like that, because there's lots of games where, in cooperative games, where it just ramps up and ramps up and ramps up, and it doesn't seem like you ever have a chance to ramp it back down. But obviously, time is a factor, of course, but at least you have the ability to kind of stem the tide a little bit, if you're getting successful attacks off. So the game just continues like that, like I said, until either A, one of the dragons dies and you lose, B, you get through this entire deck before attacking with the requisite number of dragons, depending upon the difficulty, and you lose. Or C, you attack with the requisite number of dragons that you wanted to, whether it was easy and you needed 4, or if it was hard, you needed 6, and when you do that, then you will win the game, because the dragons successfully defeated the hunters and threw them out of their kingdom. Both versions of the game have do exactly what I wanted them to do. The competitive game is a very light family game that I had a great deal of fun playing with my family, and the cooperative game was a game that was, it was difficult enough to actually make for fun choices, and the reveal moments of trying to figure out what the other players are going to do and what they're thinking about what their actions are, and trying to hope that they don't do the same thing as you until you actually flip it over and see what they did. I really, really liked those moments in the games, and that's when you have those moments in games, reveal moments where everybody's laser focused on what everybody else is doing, and you get that cool group think going on, and you really start working as a unit. But let me talk more about that in my final thoughts. Dragon Keepers! Woo! Woo! I even got that going right side up. Anyway, so there you go. I think I went over pretty well, the different, the differences, obviously. I can't say enough how perfect the competitive game fit for my family. There's something really, really fun about watching my son, who's got, admittedly, difficulty, holding on to the 6 cards in his hand. He's always got them down, and then he'd go through them like this, looking for the right one that he wanted, so he could figure out which card that he wanted to protect. Which, not free plug here, and you probably can't see this, but great the fact that I got the game topper here from Berkey, because it's got the little card holder, and he would put these little cards in like so. Too bad I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyway, regardless, he was then able to pick his cards, and it was fun watching the gears click around in his head where he tried to figure out which one of the dragons that he should try to protect and get his shield out. It is the perfect weight for family games, and the art and the presentation and the fact that you're protecting the dragons really, really spoke to him and my daughter, and just a great family moments. So, if that was the only way this game could be played, I would still get it, because it's just a perfect family game. But obviously the cooperative game is fantastic. It is quick to set up, it's quick to play, but it lasts the perfect amount of time, about half hour, maybe 40 minutes. It is you definitely feel the rush of trying to get it done, and trying to save the dragon, save the world kind of aspect. You definitely feel your time is running out, and like I said, that you actually feel though that you can stem the tide. I really, really hate. I shouldn't say hate, but I really dislike cooperative games that just keep piling on and piling on and piling on and piling on. And it's just and that's the mechanism of the game. It's okay, well, here's a simple task. Okay, well, here's a slightly more difficult task. Okay, here's a more bigger task. Here's a bigger task. Here's a bunch of tasks that you can't possibly defeat, and now you've lost. And it just seems I don't know. If you don't give me a way to fight against that, I just feel like the game is just, piling on and beating me down. So the fact that it's got the cool group think going on, it's got the reveal moment, it's got the cool art, it's got the aspects that I really like, that everything kind of links together really well. I really want to defend this dragon, but each time I defend, I'm taking a card off the top of the deck. I really want to heal these dragons, but each time I heal, I'm taking a card from the deck. And you have to take those cards, right? You can take from the discard pile, admittedly, but still, you probably should, honestly, because if you can, because of the fact that then you're not actually taking away from the timer. But sometimes that card on top of the deck is really, really good, and you want to take it because you can use it later on. So there's cool decisions as far as that goes. I mean, training your dragon, obviously you want to get it trained up and get the dice on there and everything like that. But then what about the dragons that need healing or protecting? You're taking a turn not to do that. So there's wonderful weighted decisions throughout the game, and it always felt, even the games that we won, it always felt like we weren't gonna pull off the win. So great game, both ways, competitively, cooperatively. If you dig the theme, if you dig the art, if you want to have a game that's both good for your gaming group and good for your family, then I strongly suggest you pick this one up. So there you go. If you have any questions about Dragon Keepers, ask away. I'll be happy to answer those as best as I can. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, I'm the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.